Older African Americans are twice as likely as older whites to have Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. 23.1% of Black Americans ages 70 and older are living with Alzheimer's. It is a silent epidemic in the Black community. Joining me now to discuss is Dr. Tamiko MaGee-Rodgers, the Associate Director for Recruitment and Strategic Initiatives at Global Alzheimer's Platform Foundation. Tamiko, when we think about Alzheimer's, it is very, very difficult on so many people, especially the family members who have to care someone. I know so many people who've had to do that. You think about early onset Alzheimer's as well. I think about B. Smith, think about Dr. Charles Ogletree, folks who are relatively young. And so we still are in a conundrum to understand where it comes from, how it even develops, how to even recognize it.
Yes, we are. And thank you. I want to thank you so much, Roland, for having me on your show. You're doing so much for the Black community, so thank you. But you raise a very important question. There's so much more that we need to learn about Alzheimer's disease. And the reason why I'm here too is just to inform people we can learn more by participation in clinical trials. African Americans are 35% less likely to receive a diagnosis, but Alzheimer's disease affects Black people as twice as likely compared to non-Hispanic whites. So it's so important that we get involved in research and clinical trials to ensure that treatment works for everyone and not just one population. So that's
why are we impacted more than anybody else? Do we know?
Yeah, so we have looked at it. Some people, researchers have seen diet, right? Diet plays a big part of it. Genetics, right? Our genetics play a big role. And then just also, I can also just give you some information. We do some healthy brain promotion. And some of the things we encourage people to do is get sleep, get enough sleep, right? Exercise. Right? Try to address your stress, your level of stress. That has a lot to do with cognitive decline and memory loss. So it's things that we can do to prevent it. But unfortunately, in the African-American community, it's more prevalent. And we just need to do things to address those, as I said, diet, exercise, and sleeping better.
And so what do we look for? We hear these examples all the time. Folks, they begin to forget things, but a lot of us actually do that. So, right. And then in what age? Because when you think about the early onset, a lot of people thought before that was really, 70 plus, but you're hearing more and more cases of people in their early 60s getting Alzheimer's.
Yes. So you raised a great question. Thank you, Roland, for that question. So I just want to reiterate, we all lose our keys, right? I know the other day I lost my keys. Where are my keys? But the distinction for Alzheimer's disease and when there's a problem is when you lose your keys, but then you see your keys and you look at them and you don't know what to do with them. You don't know that they're used to drive a car. Or you lose that remote and you find it, but you don't know the remote is used to turn on the TV, right? It's when it becomes and it impacts our daily life, our activities of daily life, and it affects our routines, our daily routine. And that's when we say, if you have any concerns about your loved one, or if you have some memory concerns, especially with the holidays coming around, right, is to reach out to your healthcare provider, or your family member, the family member can reach out to the healthcare provider on their behalf, and then also possibly consider clinical trial participation, because there is hope and there's a way, and that can help us to find a possible cure and treatment for Alzheimer's disease.
You mentioned participating in clinical trials. If there's somebody out there who would love to do that, how do they do it?
Yes, there's so many ways. So you can also first go to your healthcare provider. They will be able to provide information about open clinical trials that are recruiting currently. And then also we do have a website. It's called the Global ALZ, ALZ platform.org/volunteer. And you can go there and register to receive more information about the clinical trials that are there. We have sites, research sites that we support that conduct these trials. And then also, I would just say, consider attending a lunch and learn and attending a community health fair and getting involved that way, where you can learn more also about the clinical trials that are available and open to people out there.
There is, I began this thing talking about caregivers. Yes. And I remember talking to Dan, who was B. Smith's husband, and one of the things that he said that people don't understand is the toll it takes on the caregivers. Yes. So what advice for someone who now has to deal with that, whether it's Alzheimer's or dementia, because they must deal with their own mental health and physical health, and it is such a burden on those individuals?
Yes, thank you so much for that question, because yes, it is. They typically tend to come have a health concern or health condition as a result of taking care of that loved one. So I would just say, I would recommend they consider participating in support groups. There are so many support groups across the United States, and they can provide that support and, that encouragement. And you are a part of a community that's also going through what that person is going through. And then also just self-care. It's so important. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's so important to self-care. Take care of yourself, the person who is that caregiver. Go and see their healthcare provider. Go and talk to a therapist if you need someone, or seek that counseling, because it can be a burdensome. Believe me, I understand. I've also had loved ones affected by Alzheimer's, and it can totally affect that caregiver's life and have greatly impact their life. So I would just say it's important to get self-care. Remember, put yourself first too, and then also be a part of those support groups, and then reach out to your healthcare provider if you have any issues or concerns about your own health.
All right, then. Well, Doc, we certainly appreciate it. Where can people go to get more information?
Yes. Again, I want to just highlight that they can go to our website. It's global. platform.org/volunteer.
All right, then. We surely appreciate it. Thanks for your information.
Thank you so much, Roland. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us.
We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland@RolandSMartin.com.